So I'm doing something new. And I'm live streaming on Facebook. And I'm excited. Cool. I am super excited. I am super excited because today I just got the news, some news that I'm going to share. Um, but I'm excited. So as people come in, I just want to kind of remind people how I even got started on this so what journey. Um, I got, and it's funny, the timing is just amazing. So next Wednesday, I think that's Wednesday, May 22nd will be my birthday, will be my 45th birthday. It'll be my 45th birthday. But my So What journey really, really began on my 15th birthday, May 22nd. 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Oh, wow, it's been exactly 30 years ago, my birthday, on my 15th birthday. And I think most people who follow me know pretty much my journey. But on my 15th birthday, I actually got pregnant as a result of a forced sexual encounter. Somebody that was a friend of a family member's, and anyway, and that's how I got pregnant. And I actually shared that story in my book. And I think probably everybody on here who knows about this book. I published this book in 2010. And I published it because people were asking me, how did I do it? And by do it, they meant people were saying me I was after I had my son when I was 15, I stayed in school. Or actually, I set out for 6 weeks. I never will forget, and I talk about the details in the book. For 6 weeks, I set out maternity leave, and I came back and I worked my butt off, and I graduated. I ended up graduating number 8 in my class, and I was the only Black person in the top 10. I remember, feeling really proud of myself, and I was voted most likely to succeed. And then I got a scholarship to the University of Memphis, and to go to the University of Memphis as a mom with a 15-year-old was tough. And so actually, while I was pregnant with my son, I moved in with my grandma. So it's grandma, who is my mother's mom, and grandma Ocie, who is my dad's mom. So I moved in with grandma when I was 15, when I was pregnant. And when I went off to college, my first year of college, she kept my son in Jackson. She kept my son in Jackson. And I was not that kind of teenager to just dump my child on somebody and go on and live my life. I was so grateful that she allowed me to go off to college. She allowed me to go off to college, but I came home probably almost every weekend, and I would take him back to Memphis with me too and sneak him. I was living in a dorm, Richardson Towers. I would sneak him in the dorm. And I would even take him to class with me when I had him, because he was too young to be in the on-campus daycare. They had on-campus daycare that I was later able to get him in. But the main point of that story was when my freshman year of college, and the reason why I was able to come to Memphis and go to the University of Memphis was because my grandma let my son stay with her and let me go off to college to get my first year of college, and kind of be a normal college student, kind of. Because I went home and I was a mom, and I would bring him back as much as I could. And everybody, who I'm so grateful, I'm still connected to him. A lot of my University of Memphis friends who remember seeing him on campus with me. But my grandma did that for me, and it changed the trajectory of my life because I was able to go to college. And not only go to college, I was able to get involved in campus organizations. I pledged my sorority that year. A lot of things that have really impacted my life, and the people that I know, and the things that I've been able to do with my life because my grandma did that. My grandma allowed that. And so, but it was my 15th birthday when I got pregnant. Then I had my son. Then I came to Memphis to attend the University of Memphis. Again, I wrote this book in 2010. I published this book in 2010 because people want to know how I did it. So I went to college. People knew me at the University of Memphis. I was Miss University of Memphis, and I got to be Miss University of Memphis because of campus involvement and my different leadership positions on campus. And I did all that with my son. He was in the meetings with me, and community involvement and GPA. In my GPA, I ended up graduating magna cum laude. And I started my career with the Memphis Grizzlies. They had just come to Memphis. So it was a really exciting time to be with the Memphis Grizzlies. And so again, I credit my grandma a lot for helping me to be able to do that. And so over the years, and I everybody has seen me share my grandma's because I love my grandma. So grandma was the one who really she let my son stay with her so I could go off to college. But then I had grandma Ocie, who's my dad's mom, who was encouraging in her own way and supportive of me and loved me and my son and I've had a really close relationship with both of them over the years, and I always enjoyed going to visit them and talking to them and posting them and sharing them on social media because they're so cute and so fun and so amazing. But so last my grandma lives in Jackson. I lived in Jackson, and grandma Ocie lived in Bolivar, and I'm in Memphis, and so all kind of basically an hour apart. And so um, last April, I wanted to, and I did. I didn't accept any speaking engagements, really any work because I wanted to get some time with grandma. Now, grandma would come and go, and over the years, I would, over the years, all the way back when I was working with the Memphis Grizzlies and first out of college, I would pick her up in Jackson and bring her to Memphis with me, all the different places that I've lived, because she actually used to live in Memphis and work in Memphis, and so she had a lot of friends still in Memphis over the years, and I would pick her up and I would bring her to Memphis to stay with me and my son. And I would take her to visit her friends. And sadly, I would as life is, I would end up taking her to a lot of her friends' funerals over the years too. So, but grandma would go. She would come to Memphis with me and stay. Now, grandma Ocie was more a homebody, and she wouldn't come to Memphis with me. So I would always just go visit her. But last April, I brought grandma to stay with me for the month of April. And at this time, she required two people to kind of care for her because um, somebody always had to be there. And so my mom came and stayed too. And not necessarily that we both had to take care of her, but somebody had to be here. So somebody could go to the store or whatever was needed, somebody had to be able to be here. But I was so excited because I just wanted her here. And so for the month of April, she was here with me and my mom. And I also got my grandson, my fun grandson, and he stayed with me for the month of April too. And so during that time, we just had a good time, relaxing. I got to make her coffee. She got to go out and sit on my deck in the morning and have her coffee and breakfast with my son. I had some sweet pictures, and you look back through my timeline, I know I shared a lot of those pictures, but that was really a special time. That was last April. And before I go further, I meant to say this. So you've been following the journey, then you also know that um, I wrote my book, and I think it was 2018. I think it was 2018 that some grandma said, grandma said, Summer, I reckon I ought to write a book. And I knew what that meant. She was not gonna write a book. That meant I needed to write a book for her. And so that's when I wrote this book. Look who done come up to slip. A century of stories of from my life. And this book I wrote with her. I sat with her and just talked to her and just talked to her about her life from being born, because she remembered a lot from her early childhood, and then also what she was told. Um, about her childhood and even when she was born. And all the way up until I think it's her 96th birthday when we did that, 96. So I include her birthdays, and I'm actually going to update this book because she has 6 more birthdays after this. But look who done come up to slip. And the reason for the title, because it's a story behind the title, is in the book. Is in the book. But this is her story. Grandma Agnes Owens, her story. And then after that, it's like I can't write a book with one grandma and not the other one. And so the next year I published Hey Girl. This is a century of poems, pictures, lessons in life about Grandma Ocie, who was 4 years younger than my than Grandma. Grandma Ocie is 4 years younger than Grandma. And so published this book. And now Grandma Ocie was different in that she didn't sit and talk about her life. Grandma was just telling me everything. Grandma Ocie um, didn't want to share as much or couldn't share as much as a couple things. So one, Grandma Ocie had experienced 3 strokes, and so talking was a little bit of a challenge. Now she could talk and I could understand her, but it was more of a challenge. And then also some of the things, both of them experienced some major trauma, major challenges, major trauma. And some of the things I think were still hard for Grandma Ocie to even talk about. And so I ended up talking to my Uncle Joe Black, who was my grandma's youngest son, and he shared a lot with me, and my Aunt Georgia, who was my Grandma Ocie's oldest daughter. And they shared a lot with me that I was able to put in the book. But the other thing about Grandma Ocie was she wrote poems. She wrote poems. So she had a whole lot of poems that hadn't been published. And so I incorporated her poems as I told her story. And so it's really special. So I wrote these books about my grandma's lives. And I was working so hard to get the books done, because once I started them, I was like, I have got to finish them before. I said, I've got to finish them because I want them to hold them. I want to present the books to them and I want them to hold them. And I did. And I was able to do that. And both they lived many years after that. And so then fast forward, like I said, to April, and I brought Grandma to stay with me for the month of April. And at the end of April was, and I thought I would be taking her home before this, but at the end of April was the So What Awards, the inaugural So What Awards. And the So What Awards and Scholarship Soiree was an event that I created as a fundraiser for the So What Foundation. And the reason, what I wanted to do with it was to honor people in my community with these powerful stories of resilience, that I know so many with really, really powerful stories. And I believe in the power of sharing your story. Obviously, I share mine, I share my grandma's. But I'm like, there's so many incredible stories that people need to hear and people need to know, to give other people hope and encouragement, to see that people go through things, people go through really, really tough things, but they can still be resilient and come out on the other side of it, and not just survive, but doing some really powerful things. And so I created the So What Awards to honor people in the community who not only had these powerful stories of resilience, but also were using their lives to give back to the community. And so I created that program. We honored some incredible people, 9 amazing people. We were honoring 9 amazing people, and we were announcing the scholarships of the So What Foundation. The scholarships of the So What Foundation. But so my grandma was here in town, and I said, you know what? We're having a good time. She's doing okay. It's like, I'm taking her. I'm taking her to the So What Awards, and my mom. And so I went and bought dresses because it's a black tie event. I bought dresses, and she went. And it went to the So What Awards and Scholarship Sorry, and she didn't go. I took her. And it was so special because I had the event intentionally at the University of Memphis in the University Center ballroom. And it was really special because grandma had never been on the campus of the University of Memphis. And it was because of her that I was able to go to the University of Memphis. And not only go to the University of Memphis, I graduated from the University of Memphis, and I was Miss University of Memphis, and I've got an Distinguished Alumni Award. I was a President of Alumni Association. And I've made some amazing friendships, have some amazing friendships and relationships. And my life is just better because I went to the University of Memphis. And it was because of her that I was able to go to the University of Memphis. And so it was really special to have her on the campus of the University of Memphis for this awards program that I created. And it was special. And so she was there at 101 years old. She was there at my awards program, the inaugural Soulwood Awards and Scholarships. All right, she was there. And the speaker for the evening was Miss Bertha Rogers Looney. And Bertha is one of the Memphis State 8. And those were the 8 students who desegregated the University of Memphis. And when I was a student at the University of Memphis, I knew nothing about the Memphis State 8. As a Black student at the University of Memphis, I knew nothing about the Memphis State 8. And even after I graduated, it was a long time before they were really recognized like they should be. And so, and Bertha and I can't remember when we met exactly, but we became friends instantly. And by friends, I mean, we talk on the phone, we text, we visit. She just became my friend. And so I made a commitment to honor her in the Memphis State 8 in any way that I could. And one of the things that I did was to create a scholarship for her in her name and my name too. So I'm connected to her forever. And that's the Bertha Rogers Looney Summer Owens Success Scholarship. And it's an endowed scholarship at the University of Memphis. And it's funded by the Soulwood Foundation. But also, I invited Bertha to be the speaker for the inaugural Soulwood Awards and Scholarship Soiree. And so she was a speaker for the night, and it was so special. And she was excited to meet my grandmother and reverence my grandma. It was really, really special. That was last April. Okay, fast forward to March. This March, that's when my life really started to change for with my grandma's. And so it was March 19th that I got the call that grandma was declining. And so I went to Jackson to be with her. And while I was there with her, I got a call about Grandma Ocie, and that she was declining. And so basically from March 19th, or starting March 19th, I was in Jackson and I was in Bolivar. And the dynamics of the two families are different, as probably with everybody's family, in that I had to be there or more for Grandma. Grandma Ocie had another cousin who was one of her main, my aunt was her main caretaker, and another cousin who was really there for Grandma Ocie and keeping her comfortable. And I was one of the people keeping Grandma comfortable during the transitions. And so on on March 29th, Grandma Ocie passed. And 5 days later, Grandma passed. And I was with her. I was with Grandma Ocie the Thursday night before she passed, and Grandma Ocie passed on Good Friday. And then Grandma passed on April 3rd, 5 days later. And then Grandma Ocie's funeral was on April 7th. And then the next weekend, we were working on plans for Grandma's funeral, and her funeral was on April 20th. And then the next weekend was the So What Awards, the second annual So What Awards and Scholarship Soiree, which of course that date had been set almost a year earlier. And so I was like, oh my God, this is the craziest month of my life. uh, because it wasn't just my grandma's, and everybody has different relationships with their grandparents or with anybody. And so for me, my grandmas were like moms to me, and really close. So it was tough. And I was like, God, what in the world? Why in the world would you take them away from me 5 days apart? So I had been over the years, and I mean, I know they were older. Grandma was 102, just turned 102 on March 10th. And Grandma Ocie would have been 98 on April 24th. And I'm like, so I knew, the day would come when I would lose them. And sometimes I imagine the day and how hard it would be, but I had no idea that the days would be so close together. And so, and while I had that right before I had a big event, a really big event. So I was like, okay, guys, I have to really, really practice what I preach right now. And I said, so what? I said, so what? So now what? So what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? And I thank God that He gives me some really good ideas sometimes. And so one thing that I did since So What Awards and Scholarship Soiree was the very next weekend after Grandma's funeral was I announced a scholarship, a new scholarship that's being housed with the So What Foundation, and that's the Agnes Owens and Ocie Williams Memorial Scholarship, and that will be given to a young woman with a story of resilience. And so announced the scholarship, and that was super exciting. And then and Bertha Rogers Looney spoke. And it was really, really beautiful because after the inaugural So What Awards program last year, I was like, I know Grandma wouldn't be wearing the dress that she wore, that I bought her and that she wore. So I asked Bertha if she wanted it. Because I know Bertha, she goes to a lot of events, and I'm glad she's getting the recognition. She and the Memphis AA are getting the recognition that they deserve. It's like, okay, this is a really, really nice dress that she could wear somewhere. So I offered her the dress, and she said she wanted it, but we never connected for me to give it to her. So after Grandma passed, I remembered, and I gave her the dress. I took Bertha the dress. Um, and then the next day she texted me and said, Summer, it fits perfectly. I'm wearing it to the So What Awards. Because she was a speaker again. And she did. And she spoke in my grandma's dress. She spoke in the dress that my grandmother wore to the event the year before, and that was special. So scholarship, Bertha wore the dress. And then the other thing that I announced at the So What Awards and Scholarship Soiree, really right after I announced the scholarship, was a big fundraiser. I'm not a big fundraiser, but it's a big event, a big deal that I hope will be a big fundraiser to raise money for the scholarship. And that is what I'm announcing today. And that is because I just got word that it's official and it's ready. And that is the book that I'm writing in honor of my grandmas. Again, I said, okay, God, why in the world would you take them away from me 5 days apart, so close together? And then I thought about my relationship with both of them, and then the fact that the other special thing that I had. So not only did I have both of my grandmothers and have close relationships with both of my grandmothers, and I had them for almost 45 years. I had my grandmas for almost 45 years. I know every bit of that is unique and every bit of that is special. I know it. Another special element of this, though, is that they knew each other. So I'm from Bolivar, Tennessee, which is a pretty small town. Both of my grandmothers are from Bolivar, Tennessee. They knew each other. And I took opportunities. Like I said, Grandma would go, and Grandma Ocie not so much. So I would take opportunities to take Grandma to visit Grandma Ocie. So I even have pictures of the two of them together, and pictures with me with the two of them. And so I was like, okay, Um, it's all connected. It is all connected. They're connected to me, obviously, and they're connected to each other. And then for them to pass so close together. And then with the ages, and one, like I said, Grandma Ocie, Grandma had just turned 102. Her birthday was March 10th, and she passed on April 3rd. She was 102. And Grandma Ocie would have been 98. So she passed on March 29th, and her birthday was on April 24th, and she would have been 98. The exact average of their age is 100. The exact average of their age is 100. And so I wrote a book. That's what I announced would be the scholarship, to raise money for the scholarship, the Agnes Owens and Ocie Williams Scholarship. So I wrote a book that has actually helped me to heal and to grieve, to deal. I don't know how to describe it, but to really get through the fact that I lost them so close together. And so, like I said, I was there during their transitions, and it's, that's hard, and I'm grateful for it at the same time because it wasn't sudden. Neither was really sudden. I was able to talk to them and be with them and hold their hands, but also at that time I was writing. I was thinking and I was writing, and the book. The title of the book is 100 Lessons My Centenarian Grandmas Taught Me. Motherly Wisdom and Timeless Advice on Confidence, Resilience, Leadership, and Life. And so the reason why I came up with that title is because there's so much that I've learned from them, either directly from their words or from their actions, and definitely from writing their stories and sitting with them for hours and hours, and talking to them and listening to them and getting their stories. Is so much that I learned about them, and so much that I learned, even about myself and how much I see myself in them, or how much of me I feel like I've gotten from them, and really specific things about both of them. But I learned so much, and I think that I'm a better woman, I'm a stronger woman, because of so many things that I saw with them or I learned from them. And so those lessons, I wrote in this book, and it's divided into those 4 sections, on lessons on confidence, resilience, leadership, and life, because those are the things that I speak about. So as a professional speaker, that's my lane, that's my expertise. Confidence, resilience, leadership, and life. That's what I speak about. And I'm like, okay, there's so many lessons I got from them that I now share with other people through my own message, my own so what message. But I wanted the lessons of their lives to continue to share, or to continue to be in the world. And I also was thinking about, when I wrote the book, another thing that I feel like is lost today, or is not as prevalent as it should be. People don't have relationships with their grandparents like that. People don't respect elders like I think as much as they should. And so I wanted to write the book also to encourage people to still have their grandparents and their parents, to love on them, to get as much out of them, and out of them meaning what's in their heads and what's in their heart, to get as much out of them while they're here. But also to take care of them. It amazes me how easy it was for me to love on my grandmas, and to go spend time with them, and to sit with them, and to talk with them, and to laugh with them, and to make them feel loved. And I think people just don't do that enough with their grandparents. And yeah, everybody has different family dynamics and different family, different relationships. I get it. But that's something that I'm hoping to encourage with this book, is for especially young people, since I speak a lot of times to younger people, youth and young adults, is to really encourage them to get that wisdom from their elders, from their grandparents, from their elders. And so I'm super excited. I just got the word today, though, that it's ready. And what I'm going to do, because of the significance of all these dates, right? I started with May 22nd when I was 15. May 22nd, my 15th birthday, is when I got pregnant. And here we are, 30 years later, exactly 30 years later. It will be my 45th birthday on May 22nd, will be my 45th birthday. And that is the official launch date of 100 lessons my Centenarian grandmas taught me. And what I want you to do, what I'm asking as a birthday present for me, as a feel better summer present, because I'm still healing. And I'm super excited. And again, I announced the Agnes Owens and Agnes Owens and Ocie Williams Memorial Scholarship. And the fundraiser for the scholarship is the book, the sale of the book, 100 Lessons My Centenarian Grandmas Taught Me. The book will be available on Amazon on my birthday, on my 45th birthday, May 22nd. So what I would love for you to do is two things. One, mark your calendar to go on Amazon and to get this book. Get this book. I promise you're gonna love it. I've had several people to read it already. And it'll be amazing. I think the lessons that you'll get, again, on confidence, resilience, leadership, and life, that you can apply to your life right now. I have the lessons, and then I have ways that you can apply it to your life, apply them to your life right now. So mark your calendars, put a reminder in your calendar to go on Amazon on May 22nd to get the book. And then two, share this video with someone, with a lot of people, share with anybody, everybody, and encourage them to get the book. Get one for yourself, get one for a young person in your life. If you're a grandparent, get one for your grandchildren. If you're a parent, get one for your parents, get one for your child. And help me spread the word about this book that I think is going to be really, really powerful. I really want to get it into youth programs all over the country, because again, I'm trying to bridge a gap between the generations of young people and to help them to have more reverence and respect for their elders. We definitely live in a world where that is lacking, is almost gone in a lot of places. So help me spread the word and to encourage more people to love on their grandparents, love on their elders, but at the same time to build their own skills in the areas of confidence, resilience, leadership, and life. I'm excited. It will be my birthday, my 45th birthday. And people who know me and know my journey, that after getting pregnant on my 15th birthday, I dreaded my birthday. I was very sad on my birthday. Every year I dread it, and I still get emotional on my birthday. But I did make a decision some years ago that I'm going to celebrate my birthday, which is why usually I'm out of the country. I'm usually out of the country for my birthday, doing something different and special for me. But this year has been it's been hard. And I didn't plan a trip. And just emotionally, I'm just, thank God I had the capacity to think to write the book, but that feels like that's all I really had the capacity to think about and to do. And so I will be taking a little trip for my birthday. And that's going to be a blessing, and I'm happy to be able to celebrate for the first time also not the first time, but for the first time in almost 20 years, I will have somebody special in my life that I will be sharing my birthday with, because this will also be my first birthday that I don't have with my grandmas. And so help me celebrate my birthday by getting a copy of this book. The proceeds will go to the scholarship. The proceeds will go to the scholarship, the Agnes Owens and Ocie Williams Memorial Scholarship. And it'll be a blessing to me for my birthday. So I'm excited. Again, two things. My message is two things. Mark your calendar, set a reminder to go on Amazon and to get the book on May 22nd. And then share this video and just encourage some other people in your life to get the book too. I was like this too. This is my first time going live through Zoom, live on Facebook through Zoom. So, hey, I'm trying some new things, Just want to get the word out. I'm super excited. This book is going to be a blessing. It's going to be a blessing. It's good. It's good. So get the book, get it on Amazon, read it, write a review, share it, help me get this out to the world, and honor my grandmas. And by honoring my grandmas, we're honoring all elders. Thanks, friends.